Wow, we're off to a great start right off the bat. My name is Jason Hummel. I'd like to welcome you to the Gimmick Minute Wrestling Podcast. I'm joined this week by my buddy Kevin. We don't have our third person. I tried to get somebody to join us to fill in for Riley, but unfortunately I couldn't do it. So you just got Kevin and I, and this is our first
Way to
episode.
not come through, Mike.
Yeah. This is the first episode we've recorded since before we missed last week, so we didn't record anything before the Elimination Chamber. So you can probably guess what the majority of this episode is going to be about. That's right, everybody. Liv Morgan got her ass whipped by Bianca Belair. Oh no, wait, no, there's something else. There's something bigger that happened. What was it? Oh, Jade Cargill can't. Oh, no.
No.
There's something else that happened that people are
Oh,
talking about.
what happened on Collision?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on the bullshit going on in AEW. Uh,
It's not even like
can,
the funny
can,
thing is the main thing that I know we're going to talk about. Somebody did a side by side of said this is what was going on during Collision when this all went down. And anyway,
there's
I
only
don't think it even needs to be talked about. I know they have a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. It doesn't.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. The only thing because you brought it up, and before we talk about the other elephant in the room, can we talk about just their production? How the terrible missteps they've had 3 weeks in a row now. So first, there was Megan Bain had a match against shit. I don't even know who it was against, but Penelope Ford was in her corner, and after the match, I think it was Chris Statlander. After the match, they were attacking Statlander, and Thunder Rosa comes out for the save with a chair, and
Oh
Penelope
yeah,
and Megan Bain completely no sell it. So there's
yeah.
that.
It was a bad. Yeah.
It was terrible. And
Let's
then
just
there,
face it. Let's just sum it all up, Jason. NXT right now and even TNA itself are 10 times better than AEW right now. Like I
it
would
really
put
is.
if you're talking brands, if you're talking like let's say WWE, NXT, TNA, AEW, like those are like the four right now. Like AEW is I rather like probably watch like New Japan or MLW right now. Honestly.
Well, and
And
how
and
about
that's not I,
how
look,
about the MJF angle with Hangman when he supposedly leaves Christopher Daniels laying, and they cut to the backstage, and you see Christopher Daniels gigging himself laying
well,
there in a bloody
even
mess.
last night, like I happened to just randomly turn it on, and it was the thing with MJF and Hangman and like him putting lighter fluid on him or something.
Oh God, I didn't even get to that
Like,
part of it yet.
like those two could easily like that could be the main event of their pay per views. Those two, no
Yeah,
title needed, right? And like, oh
but
man,
they
and
keep just
like
fucking up. And then Swerve and Ricochet, they did the contract signing, right? So they did this angle. Obviously, like Ricochet's been stabbing Swerve with the scissors. So
yeah,
they're doing this angle at the end of the contract signing. Ricochet comes up and he has a hat on backwards, right? And he grabs Swerve, goes to stab him. Swerve catches his arm,
yeah,
pulls out his
and then
own
Swerve,
scissors.
yeah.
Ricochet flipped his hat off to give him the target. Like it was just, like take your hat off. Like it's just little things like that are just so dumb. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Let's talk about fucking John Cena turning heel at Elimination Chamber. Finally, after all this time of us wanting something different with John Cena, wanting to see what a heel John Cena would look like, he's here for his swan song, his curtain call, his victory lap. Some may say, his farewell tour, and now we get it out of fucking nowhere. He
Mm-hmm.
kicks Cody in the balls and aligns with The Rock, and this whole thing that seemed like it had probably been planned out for a very long time by The Rock.
There's been so much foreshadowing, and none of us have seen
Nobody saw it coming. Nobody
that.
saw it coming.
Now you look back and you're like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like now, also, man, hold on. I'm trying to get adjusted. I'm
Ke-
trying to get
Kevin's on
mentally.
cam.
No,
He's on camera looking
no.
like that dude at South Park that sits at the computer with the.
Yeah, I have to sit like this. Sorry, I'm injured, folks. But no, I'm trying to gather all my thoughts on all this because as soon as it happened, I was already like for this week's show, things to talk about with it. So, and bear with me. Okay, number one, does The Rock's appearance at Bad Blood make sense now?
Definitely, yeah, because he did the same gesture with the throat slash, but now he held two fingers instead of three. So
So that's part of it too, but also this that
yeah,
is a
the hustle,
foreshadow.
yeah, the hustle, loyalty,
Yes.
respect.
Um, John Cena's press conference after Royal Rumble is
Yeah,
making sense now.
definitely.
Um, and him being one of the last two makes sense now because that's always kind of they always kind of do that as a foreshadow. It's like whoever the last two are, like that's kind of your main events. It would have been last year with Punk, but
Hmm.
obviously he got injured. I think that's where they were going to go. Um, yeah, I just I guess so. When the chamber match ended, I had to let the dogs out, and I was like, okay, I got a minute. You knew also like the fact that that was the main event,
Yeah,
Cody's decision, and so I let the dogs out and I came back and like I heard when I came back inside, I just let it play. I didn't pause it or anything like that because I was like, okay, I got time. So I opened the door and I heard the Rocks music play. I was like, oh shit, I gotta get back in here.
yeah,
So Cody was already out and Cena was out there and everything. I was like, huh, like, Cena's out here. This is weird, but you know, I guess I didn't think anything of it. And what
hmm
I had texted you about the whole thing, like Conrad Thompson, 35 minutes before this happened, said, "Man," or he said something along the lines, "Man, when
when yeah,
a
he said
Cena
when a
heel
Cena
turn
turn
tonight
would
would
be
be
epic.
epic."
Yeah,
Um, I think I didn't think there was any way that Cena was or that Cody was going to side with The Rock, although part of me possibly saw it happen.
hmm
Like part of me was like, maybe he will side with him. Um, First and foremost, The Rock, go fuck yourself. That was
that
fucking
was great.
awesome.
Yeah, that was great. It was a little unexpected too, especially because the whole night they're blocking out "Holy shit" chants on the Peacock stream, but then they let "Go fuck yourself" through.
Yes.
Like,
Um, but as soon as I'm not gonna lie, and maybe people will call bullshit on this for me, but this is the honest truth. As soon as Cena dabbed him up, I'm like, oh shit,
yeah,
it's happening. I just right there, I was like, it's happening. And
yeah.
then as soon as the look happened, it was like,
Dude, the look was like the best part of it. Like his whole face just like stoically turned, and then he turned back on the charm when he went back into Cody's face, and then the kick in the balls happened. But yeah, man, like
yes,
just overall the way that they did it, the way they presented it was just perfect. I don't know what the fuck Travis Scott was doing out there. That was a little weird. Andy gave Cody a black eye.
yeah, and busted eardrum.
Oh, and a busted
Now,
eardrum too, or is that
yes,
kayfabe?
no, it's legit. He does
Oh wow.
have a busted eardrum, and you saw the black eye happen right away. Now, this whole thing with Travis Scott, I want to get into that. And here's my theory of it, because everybody's like, "Man, fuck him! Like he's just, should have been in there. He just fucked Cody up, this and that."
Yeah.
I think, because we know how Cody operates. I think Cody told him, "Fucking legit hit me."
Yeah, I would have no doubts that was how that went. Like,
Because let's face it, as much as we like maybe have criticized Cody with some spots in the past for like the table spots for the Flames and what I mean, AEW and different things, Cody's a tough son of a bitch.
Oh, he is.
I mean,
Yeah.
anybody that wrestles with that fucked up of a torn pec, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
he Cody's one of those type of guys where it's like he's almost like Terry Funk esque, Cactus Jack esque. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's old school like his father. So I guarantee Cody said, fuck me up because it's just gonna play into it.
Yeah.
So um yeah, man, I tell you what, that and we can get into the debate too. To me personally, it's not as big as Hogan turning,
No, I don't think so.
but it's number two.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think. I don't think
Because
you
let's face
can.
it, like with Cena as when he was a heel, and even when Hogan was a heel back at his early career, you don't really remember that. You know what I mean? Like even when Cena was a heel, yeah, he was a heel, but he was kind of a cool heel.
I mean, I remember the Doctor Thugonomics. I mean,
Yeah,
that was a good run.
but it
But
wasn't
yeah.
anything like white hot heel. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of a comical heel almost.
Right. Yeah.
So, but
The thing, the thing, um, the thing that I think is a lot different that I think people need to kind of slow the roll on about Hogan's turn in the NWO run was a basically like a career resurgence for Hulk Hogan. I mean, that character lasted. I mean, that gave him another what 5 to 10 years on his career, basically with that character in ring and otherwise, like between the WCW end and then into WWE. I mean, that
what?
Hollywood Hogan character carried him for a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, oh yeah, I mean it was probably about 3 4 years, and then '99 he kind of turned back.
The thing with this Cena thing is, I mean, this is only going to be until the end of the year, so it's not like this is a new character for Cena that's gonna have that same resurgence and that same thing as Hogan did. Now, grant
Right.
you, it's still a monumental moment, and it's still huge, and it's still crazy. And I think more than anything, I just like that John Cena is getting to dictate what he wants the last year of his career to be. And if this is
Yes.
what he wants to do, because this is something he's wanted to do for a long time, then fuck it, man, do it. Like have some fun with
And
it. Sell your soul. Go after it all. You know what I mean? Like I'm here for it.
but I almost feel like he's challenging himself because I think this is a very like kind of like a Daniel Bryan-esque thing to where he's going to turn heel, but he's almost going to try to win everybody back before it's all said and done.
He probably will. I mean, I can't see him going out. I can't see him exiting. But you know what? At the same time, though, he could because the smart fans are gonna love him anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the hardcore fans that are gonna cheer his Hall of Fame induction aren't gonna care that he ended the end of his career as a heel. You know what I mean? Like it's, but maybe he will. We might see that him turn back towards the end, but I don't know, man. I just I'm curious to see what happens now. But the problem is though, how much are we going to see him between now and WrestleMania is going to be the big thing. And I've seen a lot of speculation. The one thing that I saw that was really interesting, and this could play a little bit in the Travis Scott. I'm going to take it a step further, but a lot of people were saying, "Oh, after what CM Punk did on Monday, which I definitely want to talk about,
Oh yeah.
um, you know, what about night one? We have, kind of almost like what they did last year. Night one, you have Rock, Cena versus Cody and Punk. But then, you could throw Travis Scott in the mix and maybe like a Tyrese Halliburton or bring in Bad Bunny or something like that and have a three-way or like a six-man tag or something like that. But I just don't know. The problem is though, I don't see last year there were stakes on it, right? Because it
Hmm.
was okay if Rock and Roman win, we get tribal combat. So what would the stakes be to have this match with Rock and Cody and Cena versus Punk and it just
The only thing I could see is yeah, maybe they do Punk and see. Here's the thing that like we don't know Rollins.
yeah
Okay.
We don't know
So
what Roman's doing. What Roman and Rollins both. We don't know what they're doing.
that's the thing is that, and we'll get, I guess we're gonna go back and forth on a lot of this stuff. So let's get into, if it's okay, let's Monday, Punk
Okay.
coming out.
Punk. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliantly done. Came right out. To me, best promo since he's been back.
Oh, that was like
Maybe
pipe,
one.
that was Pipe Bomb 2.0. I
Yes,
mean that was full of piss and
maybe one,
vinegar.
maybe one of his best ever,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
because he didn't miss a beat
Mm-mm.
and he was believable. And the whole thing with Becky Lynch, and oh my God, that tweet that she put out,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
oh my God, like
She started some
I
shit.
think I. I'm sure deep down there is some hatred there, but I'll tell you what, the professionalism between Rollins and Punk is tremendous. Like they both
Yeah.
deserve like, you know, co-employees of the month for the professional. If they do have a deep hatred, which I think they probably kind of do have a little bit, maybe more Rollins towards Punk, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that was and for like that was a brawl, man. That was a
Yeah.
fucking brawl that I did not want to stop, and it kept going throughout the show. Now,
Yeah.
with that said, I really thought this was going to be a Mania thing, but now with it being in Madison Square Garden on Monday in a steel
Mm-hmm.
cage, is this almost like the kind of um, temporary swan song of this feud because it could heat back up later?
Yeah.
Because because it's Madison Square Garden. You know Roman's coming back, and I think we're gonna get Roman and Rollins because there's so much of a story there that like that could be such a big Mania match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so much. I know but there's so much story and history there to where it's like to me that would be such a great match. And but also Punk still got that favor from Paul Heyman,
Yeah.
and that's going to factor in somehow. And
Right.
it can only factor in with something in title match main eventing WrestleMania or something. So, but the great thing is we don't know. Like honestly, I'm fucking stumped
Yeah.
on where they can or where they will go.
Well, and then
Um,
and to throw in, just to kind of piggyback on that, what about what they just did with the women's championship on
yeah,
Raw?
exactly.
So you have Bianca win the Elimination Chamber, but then you have this title match on Raw, and how many times have we seen those title matches? Like, okay, well, we already know Rhea's going to WrestleMania as champion, so why are they even having this title match? Well, here Triple H is like, I'll show you why. We'll have Io fucking win the match, and now everything's up in the air, and
Yeah,
the whole
the only thing I could think of is that he has so many main event possibilities that he just made one less possible main event, possibly.
yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Can we take a second though to give appreciation to the women that participated in the freaking um, women's elimination chamber? I
Oh yeah.
mean, first of
Liv
all,
Morgan especially.
yeah, Naomi took one hell of an ass whooping from Jade Cargill. Like that
Yes.
was that was
What a way
crazy.
to Jesus Christ, what a way to start the fucking show.
Yeah,
You thought that was the biggest shock of the night.
yeah, right. Like, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of thought that Jade would end up just taking her spot, not just killing her and leaving, but that's what she ended up doing. She killed her and left. Um, so that was crazy. And then, but Liv, dude, just the beating that she took in that, and the whole fucking like when the whip. Oh my gosh, the whip from
Did you
Bianca's
see
hair.
that? Did you see the picture she posted, the aftermath the
Yeah,
next
all the
day?
bruises and everything.
Oh
Like,
my
oh
God.
yeah, she was beat to shit. Like, just but kudos to her for pulling that off. And then just that whole that match was so much more physical than the men's match. And I know the men's
Mhm.
match had a lot of like, we had a lot of guys in there that were uh older kind of veterans and stuff like that. So I guess I understand it from that standpoint. Like maybe they're not taking quite as many risks, but the women more than made up for it, man. They took all the risks and went straight after it. So I give credit to all of them in that. And then but yeah, but then so then Bianca wins. She's got the right to face the winner of the match between Io and uh and Rhea, and Io ends up getting the win. Now, granted there was some distraction, like it wasn't necessarily all clean, but she gets the win. And now, will it be a triple threat, you think? Do you think Rhea gets a rematch? Do we have all three of them? Are they going to add
I mean, I think
somebody
that's.
else and have a fatal four-way? Like,
I mean, I think that's the logical thing that you think is going to happen, but honestly, I have no idea.
yeah,
Again, no clue.
it is hard to say what they're going to do. Like, it's just, yeah, I really don't know. Like, it's so up in the air right now. It's ridiculous.
Because
So,
again, where does Jade factor in? And you know what I mean with Bianca, and does Bianca come out as the actual attacker? You know what I mean? Like there's so many
yeah,
things
like
that
I want to know if
scenarios.
Bianca also had something to do with it, right?
Right.
Like I feel like she had to have. Like there's just no way that um yeah, there's no way that she didn't. Like I feel like there had to have been some collusion in there. And a Bianca heel turn would make sense right now too. Like I wouldn't be mad at a Bianca heel turn.
No.
So yeah, man. I don't know. There's so much shit going on right now. It's fucking crazy. I'm curious what's gonna happen on SmackDown tomorrow night. Like I feel like now that the road to WrestleMania is really ramped up, like I feel like we're gonna have like a big turn, right? Like we're gonna have like a lot going on. Where's Kevin? Well, Kevin Owens is probably going against Randy Orton, But what's going to happen with Sami Zayn? Is he going to be out for a while? Like that match was fucking brutal. Like Sami took a beating in that.
And the funny thing is they've had even more like they've had like crazier matches, obviously in other eras times, but that
Mm-hmm.
match was still, yeah, it was pretty. Excuse me. Um, yeah, I think with Randy coming back and obviously they got some singles matches set up. They got obviously Randy and KO. They got Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, as some kind of undercard singles matches. Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't know where Sammy goes with it. So
Yeah, and what are they going to do with what are they going to do with Solo and Jacob Fatu? Like, there's so many other side quests and characters that we could have show up here. Like, it's man, so much.
I yeah, and like I said, really you don't know what Punk's doing, Rollins is doing, Roman's
Right?
doing,
Yeah,
um, Logan Paul. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
See,
you know,
before all this shit happened, I would have thought it was going to end up being Logan Paul and John Cena.
hmm
But even like Logan Paul, CM Punk and Logan Paul makes a little bit of sense too. For the most part. McIntyre, what the fuck's McIntyre gonna do? Like, oh my gosh.
probably him and Priest.
Oh yeah. McIntyre and
They
Priest
kind
makes
of they
total
kind of set
sense.
that up again.
Yeah, yeah,
But not even that, but like, stuff that's going on with the Judgment Day. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
With Finn and
with Finn
Dom
and
and all
all of
that.
that. Um, I, I will say, I'm gonna have to say, like, to me, the pay-per-view was all hits, no misses, and this had to be not only one of the best, but one of the most important non-big 4 or 5 PLEs in quite some time.
Yeah, I would agree
I
with that.
mean,
And Triple H even
it's
said
just
too, like typically we don't have elimination chamber in a stadium. Typically
right.
that's an arena show. It's not, but it had that special moment. And oh man. So looking ahead to SmackDown, Cody Rhodes is going to make an appearance tomorrow to address John Cena's betrayal. Chelsea Green and Michin are in a street fight for the U.S. Championship. Randy Orton is supposed to make an appearance, and Jade Cargill is set to make an appearance to address, Naomi attacking her. So, we're gonna get some pretty heavy storylines in there too. So, and hey, and another thing too. Shout out to Alexa Bliss, man. I mean, she was off for 2 years. Didn't look
Oh
like she
yeah,
missed a beat in that chamber. She did a hell of a job.
yeah. She broke out Twisted Bliss.
And she did. Yeah.
She hasn't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess going into it, like 'cause a lot of people were calling her like a favorite and stuff. I was like, nah, I kind of felt that like, especially once Jade took out Naomi and you had the emotion of Bianca, I was like, yeah, I think Bianca's winning this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
Um,
too with Alexa, there's some story there with the Wyatts because the QR codes is starting to pop up again during her segments. Even I think during her elimination chamber entrance, that popped up real quick when she was
it
coming
did,
through
yeah.
there. So we got that coming up to look forward to. So um, I definitely am looking forward to that. Yeah, man. I mean, we pretty much covered what I wanted to talk about. I mean, it's just the implications of John Cena. So I guess we could go with this then. So does John win the title at Mania now? Does that change your perspective on that? Because I think before that we were thinking, maybe he wasn't headed for a title at WrestleMania, but this new heel John Cena opens up a whole realm of possibilities.
I hmm, and I have thought about this and dwelled on it. Like to me personally, I guess I don't mind it either way because Cody chasing it, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
getting it back. Um, but in the end of the day, like it's all going to depend on how things get built from here until now.
Hmm.
Because if they keep building it to where it's like it, almost a foreshadowing again if Cody keeps you know getting shit on every other week, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you almost feel like it's going to be the path to Cody coming out on top. Um, and then maybe like maybe that's where like Cena is only a heel until then, and then there's something with him and The Rock to where The Rock like maybe attacks him or something, and then like maybe Cena, Cody helps him, and then all of a sudden Cena's face again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe that's a crazy scenario. Is that this is just a temporary thing for Cena, to where maybe we get built to um, Cena and Rock one final because it'd be a rubber match.
Yeah.
They each won one, and
Yeah.
we'll get it. So instead of once in a lifetime, we get one final time.
Yeah.
So I honestly could see that happening, and I also can see the glass shattering to come out and help Cody. Because let's face it, it's in Las Vegas. He
Yeah.
lives in Las
He
Vegas.
does
He
live in
has
Vegas.
so
He's made a point to stay away though, and especially
well,
since
of
everything.
course, of
Well,
course he has.
and since everything happened with Vince too, like he has not been back since Vince has been gone. So I don't
True.
know. I don't know if maybe that's just how he feels and he doesn't want to. I don't
or
know.
or this has just been a great work. You know what I mean? Because again, the whole thing with Rock and Cena and all that
Maybe,
we never.
maybe
To me, that would be
that would be
you
that. I mean,
know
that'd be the ultimate. Yeah, if he we thought how good that would have been if he would have came out last year, but this year it'd be even bigger. But
yes.
but yeah,
Like I said, there's as long as I don't think we're going to be disappointed one way or
I
another.
don't think
Let's just
so
face
either.
that.
I don't think so either. I mean,
So,
I haven't been disappointed by anything, any big show. Like Yeah, maybe we'll have an episode of Raw that's a little bit of a lull now and then, or SmackDown. It's just not, it's more kind of, they're trying to lay some groundwork, and maybe it's not as like holy shit, but I have not been disappointed by a PLE probably in 2 years from them. I can't
No.
remember the last time we had like a Great Balls of Fire or something. Like they've all
Right.
because everything has like every match has a story. Like at Elimination Chamber, even Trish and Tiffany versus Naya and Candice had a story going into it that you could follow, that was
No.
palpable. The Elimination Chamber for both the men and women had so many stories within it that you couldn't wait to see somebody get out of the pod to go after somebody that was in the match. And
Was
even
last year's WrestleMania the first one Triple H like was full control of?
yeah, because the one before that, 39, Vince was still, he was consulting. He wasn't. I mean, Triple H
Okay.
was in control of creative at that time, but Vince was still a part of the company. And he had said,
Gotcha.
like, that was back when. Remember when Triple H was like, "Well, yeah, I seek advice from lots of people. Like, I'd be dumb not to go and ask him what he thinks and stuff like that." And then people took that as, "Oh, Vince is really the one booking the show," but
Gotcha.
you know,
I just think it's not going to disappoint because let's face it, like last year, um, that main event was, one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history, the post angle and everything. And like I said, I don't think we're going to be disappointed one way or another, whether it's the right person we want to win or not. I think there's not going to be any disappointment
no, I can
because
I can definitely agree
it's
with
going to
that.
make you just because sometimes you get that, post like you get the high of WrestleMania and then you're kind of like so I don't see that happening this year.
Yeah, I
So
don't either.
I don't know.
Hey, did you see the side by side clip of Punk and Cena?
Yes,
They're
yes.
it was the exact same as their Money in the Bank match, like the whole sequence. That was great.
Um,
And
I'm,
dude, that stomp that Rollins hit on Punk, so well executed. I
oh,
mean,
but him screaming die.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, um, but like I said again, like as soon as I heard that they're gonna have the cage match, like kind of have, unless this sets up something else, but like I
Well,
think this almost sets up something for Rollins.
and I can't even really see, it's almost like what's going to happen there too, because with with let's say they go to a finish. I mean, Punk's already beat him once, so does Rollins lose to him again, or does? But then if Rollins gets the win, then it almost makes sense that they have another the rubber match at Mania, But
Yeah, I don't know.
so,
I,
and I
I
and I
don't know.
love I love Triple H's philosophy too, because he they said somebody asked him in the press conference about, will one of the women's title matches be the main event of night one, because there hasn't been like a women's main event for a while. And he said, look, like, I'm not going to disrespect them by doing it any different. I'm not just going to put a match in the main event because somebody thinks it should be, or to
Right.
give equal. I look at everything on the card, and whatever, whoever is bringing it the best, whoever has the best story are gonna, and that's how it should be. You know what I mean? You should
I
main
mean,
event those nights with the best story. Like, you don't just put a match at the top of the card because it's a
yeah.
women's match, or because it's that, like,
And no
that's,
offense, the most over guy right now is main event Jey Uso. So they've got a main event night one.
yeah.
They have to. I'm sorry. And I like what they've been doing every week with Gunther picking on, you know,
Alpha Academy.
Tozawa. And,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Jay coming out making the save the one week, and then this past Monday. Gunther got he got the
choke
one up
out.
on him.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on.
It's a little funny though to see Jey Uso saving Otis.
Yeah, I know.
Like Otis is a fucking house. Like why he should never need like it's weird, but
But fucking give it to Gunther, man. He made the Zao look like a fucking
yeah, I did.
like it was Gunther versus fucking like Ric Flair. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but even with Otis, you know what I mean? Like he just did such a great job with both of them, and yeah, he's just main event Jay. I mean, Yeaton at the end of the night one, especially if. And here's the thing: if that is how that's gonna happen, then that almost tells me heel John Cena wins night two.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
um,
But I mean, who knows, man? I mean, yeah, you could end up having Jay be the main event of night two, and Cody and Cena could main event night one. I guess it just depends on which story's hotter going into it.
yeah.
Although I don't know the John Cena thing. I mean, that's getting so much buzz right now. How
Oh
can you
yeah,
argue with that? But
yeah. If yeah, I unless they come up with something else for a main event night one, then I could see Jay and Gunther opening night two
yeah,
because that would be a hot way to kick it off.
yeah,
So
I would agree. I would agree. Dude, you see like what all happened with Pat McAfee at Elimination Chamber? Apparently, he got some backlash for. I guess he got mad at the Canadian fans for booing the national anthem, and then he took it back, and then got death threats. Like some dude like messaged him and threatened his daughter and him, and
yeah, I
like,
haven't heard
dude,
all of that, but
everybody just needs to chill the fuck out. Like it's just not that serious. Like
well, I think at the end of the day too, anybody that gets offended by it, like Americans, like say if McAfee got offended by it, and Logan Paul came out with the American flag,
yeah,
They're not booing America.
they're
They're
booing.
booing one guy.
Yeah, they're booing one American.
They're booing one American.
Yes, that
Please,
is it.
everybody, please, everybody, remember that they're not booing me or you or our neighbors. They're booing one American.
But so many
That's it.
people, so many people take that so personally though, because one that American happens to be the president, so the leader, and then how many people, have drank in the Kool Aid that are,
Whew.
that are staunch supporters of his that take things too seriously. I mean, look at the poor woman who put out who the fire chief in Los Angeles. She was found stabbed to death in her home after he publicly blamed her for the wildfires in L.A.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
oh,
so.
I know this is not a political podcast, but
But the point is, like McAfee, should take it seriously, and nobody should take it that far. But yeah, I mean, to that point, well, Logan Paul, I think he came out with the American flag because he's a heel. Like he was in Canada, like he's a heel. Of course, he's gonna come out with the American flag, especially when they're already booing Americans. Like that's
yeah,
just that. I didn't think anything of that. I understand, but McAfee, like I get it. Like he's just saying be respectful, but I also understand the Canadians' point of view that
yes,
it's I get it, but it is what it is. But nobody should be threatening his life or his daughter's life over it because it's not that serious. Like it's just fucking dumb. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, if that's your take, then you need some serious mental health, and I hope you get it.
yeah. Be, be
'Cause,
pissed again. Be pissed at one singular person,
yeah.
not him.
So anyway, moving on. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, I covered the dumb shit AEW's doing. We talked about John Cena turning heel. I don't know if we
Oh,
say enough about John Cena turning heel. I mean, it's just
yeah, it's kind of one of those shock things that happened, and now we just kind of sit back and wait for him to show up and explain himself. But he might not show up. Well, that's your thing too. The press conference, he came out and just picked up the mic and dropped it.
yeah, that was
I thought
great.
I thought that was funny, but then The Rock's on there like, oh yeah, we've had this all planned since last November, and we're all
Oh
buddies,
yeah,
and you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I get it, but like, you know,
Well, he didn't quite say it like that. He just said that. I mean, The Rock did a pretty good job of towing the line and balancing it between story and real life. Like
right?
he did turn it a couple of times when he almost went down the wrong road, but he did kind of stop short of saying all that. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. Like what's what are we doing here?
And I'm sorry, that truck that he gave Cody was that's a badass fucking truck.
Yeah, it was.
I personally would fucking love, even though it has the fucking logos all over. I personally would. It was a fucking sweet looking truck. But anyway,
You would have sold your
um,
soul for that one.
oh yeah, I was, I would have sold half my family's fucking souls for that.
All right. On that note,
Yeah, that's all I got. I mean,
I mean,
uh,
honestly, last week's episode would have been great because we could have like all given what we would have sold our soul for, as a way to
ooh,
close the show out.
yeah,
But
that might have been good. Um, I guess I guess one last thing, just a quick comment, something I'm actually excited about is Moose versus
Obafemi,
yeah,
yeah,
excuse me, I couldn't recall
yeah,
Obafemi. So
yeah, it's coming up
watched a
at
little
Roadblock.
clip of Moose had that little press conference thing or whatever, and it was pretty cool. Like he just kind of said what he needed to say, and he says I'm walking out with the X Division Championship, and I'm walking out with the NXT Championship. Thank you
Yeah,
very much. And he left. So, it's gonna be cool because a lot of people that are WWE heavy, NXT heavy, that maybe have not really seen Moose a lot.
yeah,
Moose is a fucking he's a fucking real deal, man. So,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
No, I agree with you. I think that's
The
gonna be a lot of fun.
Hardys have been great there. That's awesome.
Yeah,
You know what I
dude,
mean?
they've
Like,
been parading the Hardys out
oh
hardcore.
yeah.
Like, they had a match they had a match 2 weeks ago. Then they just showed up and interviewed them last week. And
Sean Spears winning the North American Championship and then snubbing Shawn Michaels. I don't know if did you see
oh, I
that?
didn't see that. No, I didn't
They
see
had
that.
but they it was just on X, I think, only, and Sean
Uh,
met him at the curtain to shake his hand, and then Sean Spears like just snubbed him and walked away or whatever. So yeah,
what's your
do it,
name?
man.
Stan. Boom! I just kicked Stan.
Yeah, that's gotta be what it's from.
Long term storytelling.
Yes, long term storytelling.
He's gone through 3 different names since then.
I know. Oh God, I hope that's where they go with it. So, too funny.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's all I got. I'm losing my voice.
All
So
right, cool. Well, we can wrap it up then. So it's been about 45 minutes. Hey, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the show. I really do appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed our takes on what happened in Elimination Chamber. If you have yours, you can hit us up on X at Live Your Gimmick. That's the @ symbol followed by LIVYOURGIMMICK. You can also leave a comment on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, however you like to listen to it, or whatever podcast platform you do. Those messages do get back to us so we can read them. And I'll even respond to them here on the show. So if you want to get your message out there, that's your opportunity to do it. But anyway, all right. Thank you again for listening. For Kevin, I'm Jason, reminding all of you out there in the internet wrestling community, be a fan, always live your gimmick, and don't fucking send death threats. Just eliminate that. All right. Goodbye, everybody. All right. And we're clear.
I was gonna start singing. I was gonna start singing OPM, but I couldn't.